Yeah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. We are from Group 10. So today we are going to present our group assignment, which is Exxonmobill. So in our group, we have 5 members, which is Nur Amalia binti Muhammad Salah Sabari, me Nur Anis binti Azhar, Nur Aulia Rizki binti Muhammad Mahyudin, Afina Batrisha binti Malawi, and Nur Anisa Mardiah binti Mustafa. Okay, so introduction. Exxonmobil is one of the company that have been selected to our group. This assignment is very related to some chapters in management. There are 4 management functions which are planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. All of these functions are very important point for this assignment. In the end of the assignment, we have to choose one of the most important management function to be selected. Let me introduce you to the Exxonmobil company. Actually, Exxonmobil is one of the largest oil and gas company in the world. It is located at Irving, Texas. This company employ around 71,000 people. Over the course of its long history of more than a century, Exxonmobil has evolved from a regional marketer of kerosene to an advanced energy and chemical innovator and one of the most immensely colossal publicly traded companies in the world.
Firstly, the full function of management is planning. Planning is the process of thinking regarding the activities required to achieve a desired goal. Planning encompasses defining the organization objective or goal, developing a comprehensive hierarchy of plan to integrate and coordinate activity. The vision of the company of the Exxonmobil operation is to provide a lot of products such as the vision of Exxonmobil Corporation is to safely and responsible meet the world growing desire for energy and high quality chemical product. The mission is to being the world premium petroleum and petrochemical company. The type of planning is long-term planning. The main strategy in the planning in the Exxonmobil is to develop novel process technology including membranes and other advanced pressure catalysts and high efficient reactants that can lower CO2 emission by 25% or greater. The main action to achieve their company goal. The company is looking for affordable, scalable solution that address the 3 main areas of energy use, such as transportation, generation, and manufacturing. For transportation, they focus in advanced biofuel, lightweight material, and fluid and lubricant for electric vehicles. Exxonmobil also focus in natural gas or LNG technology. Methane emission reduction technology and carbon capture and storage to get power of generation represent of global energy relate CO2 emission. For manufacturing represent, Exxonmobil have to focus in area cogeneration process, intensification, manufacturing efficient technology, and carbon capture and storage. Exxonmobil also make many strategy to get their company achieve the goal. The strategy has 4 strategies. It is firstly need mitigating emission in company operation. That has a robust set of process to improve energy efficiency and mitigate emission. It also includes the process that focus on reducing methane emission, flaring, and venting. The process are appropriate and setting the company objective. Exxonmobil also provide also providing the product to help customer reduce their emission. Exxonmobil are responding to the growth of population and income and the unprecedented expansion of global middle class of the customer by delivering the solution that enable customer to reduce the emission and improve the energy efficiency. Next, the strategy of the Exxonmobil. Exxonmobil provide developing scalable technology solution. Will invest to R&D for develop the next generation solution and progress breakthrough in areas such as carbon capture, biofuel, and others. Lastly, the strategy are proactively engaged on climate-related policy. ExxonMobil engaged on policy directly by trade association and focus industry collaboration effort. In 2019, 2022, the work of business was shaped by the health issue such as COVID-19. So ExxonMobil come up with the strategy. The new strategy, the new strategy is energy supply and demand trend. It had to inform the company long-term strategy, investment plan, and research program. The company are considering the risk of global pathway to cut new trend to the economic energy demand and energy supply and lack precedent. Thank you. Next to organization.
Organization structure will bring members of the organization together and divide their responsibility. Communication, productivity, and creativity is all benefit from good organization structure and design. Make an environment for employees to work efficiently and always have improvement. Next, the ExxonMobil work specialization. First, separating labor duties into their own job function. Second, they have a workplace division, such as like chemical, upstream and downstream division. So the third work specialization is allowing a manager to take complex tasks and break them down into smaller, more precise tasks that individual workers can complete. ExxonMobil organization also have 11 different divisions within the corporation, each of which operates internationally. Secondly, provide the company with much needed synergy. Thirdly, provide the corporation with a broader market reach. And then ExxonMobil also have more level playing field in terms of resources and human resources with a variety of skill and perspective to drive the combined entity strategy. So this is ExxonMobil organization chart. So the CEO is Darren W. Woods. And then they have 11 division that Darren Taylor is the president of ExxonMobil Research and Engineering, and Neil Hansen is from Fuels department, and then Neil Chapman from SVP department, Catherine Michaels from SVP and CFO department. Okay, next. So designing the individual job, they have three departments. Firstly, chemical. ExxonMobil, one of the world's largest chemical produce in the world. So they have a facility to convert raw oil and natural gas into petrochemical feedstock for medical devices such as electronic, textile, synthetic rubber, and a variety of other items. And then on chemical department, they have a chemical engineering worker on create synthetic fibers that make our clothes more comfortable and water resistant. Okay. Next, they research way for producing medication to make them more expensive as well as safer. More efficient method for refining petroleum product to boost the productivity and cost effectiveness of energy and chemical sources. And then develop solution to environmental problems such as pollution control and recovery. Next, the job task is in charge of working with hazardous substance and including safety practice. And then next, downstream division. So downstream refining crude oil into natural gas, liquid, diesel, and other energy sources. Exxonmobil downstream is one of the world major producer and marketers of fuels and lubricants, selling about 5.4 million barrels of petroleum products each day. In downstream division, they have scientists and engineering. So the job task is review experimental work, data and reports produced to ensure accuracy and compliance. Next, they have to contribute to the development and prediction of processing strategy and through outputs for the site oil and fuel business product. And they also have to maintain an up-to-date knowledge of development which can impact of the technologies involved in the process being developed. And the scientists and engineering need to ensure a continuous improvement within downstream process development activity. Next, the upstream division. So, upstream division are exploration and production activities, including as onshore and offshore drilling, are both part of the upstream component of the oil and gas industry. In upstream department, they have geologists, engineering, and scientists. So the job task is prior to the commencement of the drilling process, evaluate of the offset data, make decisions about suspending or continuing or drilling, and representative of the onshore oil company in upstream. Next, they have the scientists at upstream have to do experiment at various sites in support of preclinical and commercial program for upstream process development studies for gene therapy are designed and carried out, and also need to handle experiment and collect process data under supervision based on the principal scientist. Next, the scientists also need to identify, deposit, drilling wells, and recovering raw material from underground. So, in organizing must need allocating resource. So, for chemical department allocate the resource by doing track of the performance of the chemical resource. So chemical engineering apply the principle of chemistry, biology, physics, and math to solve the problem that involve using fuel, oil, petroleum, and chemical. Chemical engineering in Exxonmobil always make sure that chemical that have to develop and design on manufacturing process is a good quality and high purity chemical to be used. And then they have to track the performance of the chemical every time to make sure the accurate work process of the chemical. And then for downstream, they allocating the resource at downstream by planning out the upcoming project. It's difficult to distribute resource efficiently if you don't have a clear picture of activity are required to accomplish a project. And then downstream is a closest link to everyday user, such as converting oil and gas into the finished product to be used by the user. And then good planning on managing the process downstream will help them to gain more user and customer to use the finished product. Downstream department cover the marketing and retail distribution of refined petroleum product to business, industry, government, and the general public. Downstream must have to need planning a good strategy for marketing. For their selling product will help to gain more profit and reach the goals. And then they are upstream. Upstream, they allocating the resource by certificate and competent worker to handling the resource wisely. Will be more aware of the resource that they have been tasked or assigned to help the project or process working successfully. And they have drilling, extraction, and exploration at upstream department. Okay. Next, I will pass for next slide. Leadership.
Okay, for leadership style, Exxonmobil use a telling and selling leadership style to be approached in company leadership. Mr. Stringer, who is the leader for this company, doesn't simply give tasks to the stakeholders, but he is also encouraged to find the best idea for that task and find a great solution. He also offers some guidance according to his research on resourcement. He also encouraged all the stakeholders to be involved in meeting and discussion. Okay, first is authority and governing power. Legitimate power is the power a leader has a result of his or her position in the organization. For example, Mr. Stringer, who is an NYC controller, implemented several programs and policy that incremented transparency in the budgeting process. Secondly is motivation. Expectancy relationship is valence or attractiveness of reward, which can be defined as the importance an individual place on the potential outcome or reward that can be achieved on the job. ExxonMobil got an award because this company exceptional investment in employee health. Ozemoya Okordion, who is Government and Business Relation Advisor for ExxonMobil Affiliates in Nigeria, was building a health and safety culture among his employees. Thirdly is decision making. Rational decision making can be defined as choices that are logically consistent and maximize value. In the oil and gas industry, the first project for a company needs more capital input, and it is very important to do some analyzing. As a manager, he used the high level of technology which will lead the company to be successful in finding these two kinds of resource in both environments, which is geographical and geology. And the last one is communication. For example, today we heard that shareholder communicate with ExxonMobil that company incurred around 22 billion loss last year as COVID-19 pandemic destroyed full demand worldwide. So to solve this problem, a manager of a company has made up some ideas which have to reduce emissions from fossil fuels that are warming the planet by investing in wind and solar energy. Engine number one has have say Woods needed to make big change to ensure Exxon future value to investor. Okay.
Controlling. Controlling is one of the essential goal-oriented management tasks in a company. Exxonmobil use a feedback controlling type to be used in the company management. The feedback control system measures the team's progress by comparing the group's output to the products produced. There's four elements that we can conclude in the company controlling system called Controls Integrity Management System, which is preset point, actual performance, variance analysis, and feedback. First is preset point. The manager establishes a target or specified level of performance, which includes the identification of specific points to guide higher control forward. ExxonMobil use an operations integrity management system in their company. In element 1, the management, leadership, commitment, and accountability are in their system. This element is for management to set policies, give context, establish expectations, and allocate resources to ensure successful operations. Secondly is actual performance. The second aspect is actual performance from the process which occurs after the process has been finished to a certain extent or completely. Exxons use these elements, sources, and manage risk accurate information about the configuration and capabilities of operations and facilities, the qualities of products and materials handled, potential operations integrity hazards, and regulatory requirements is required. Thirdly is variance analysis. The variance is derived by comparing the business's predetermined performance or target to its actual performance. For this step, Exxons use the management for easier evaluating the products before it goes to the decision-making process. This will make it the management easier to choose the most relevant finished product with a good. Lastly, feedback. That is the primary area in which the manager's professional judgment is necessary to generate meaningful feedback. Exxon's use operations integrity assessment and improvement in Lemon 11 for improved operations integrity and maintain accountability. Exxon's find the effectiveness of the assessment process is reviewed periodically and findings are used to make improvements.
For all the function of management, planning is the important function for the important function of management for the company. The important of the planning is to provide the direction, provide the innovative idea for organizing, leadership and controlling. Planning also set the standard for the controlling. What happens without this planning? Without this function, is company cannot get organizing the work and the objective of the company can be laid down. The decision cannot make because the any innovative idea from the manager. Lastly, company cannot control the action of the employee, and company may get lost because the actual production is less than the standard production that uh, that company goes. The issues and the solution is the of the company cannot achieve the goal. Planning show the objective that uh, the solution for this function is planning show the objective for each function. Manager must have a good skill of communication and understanding for the all function of management so that a company can achieve the goal and companies can have a good in the work. Next.
Lastly, the conclusion of ExxonMobil is, firstly, ExxonMobil has a strong competitive advantage in technology and innovation. The company new technological advance and innovation will give it an opportunity over its competitor and become advanced, and innovation will give it an opportunity over its competitor and become Petronas' first choice. Secondly, the ExxonMobil is committed to achieving essential while providing product and service. ExxonMobil has remained profitable in a lower price oil environment due to its lower cost reserves. Next, if ExxonMobil can committed to achieve excellence while providing product and service, it can essential to the health and well-being of billions of people around the world. Lastly, the pillar of ExxonMobil's climate strategy and investment to company is making in lower emission technologies. It
It also can take action to reduce emissions across its business are consistent with this global effort. That's all from us. Thank you.
Dah.